Anchor price update. Let's get into it. So Chris, today we will be taking another cheeky look at Anchor. We'll be taking a look at the technical analysis and looking at those key indicators such as the Fibonacci retracements, the relative strength index, the 50, 100, 200 and moving averages along with the current volumes. We'll be taking a look at those price targets for the Anchor coin and how high is this thing likely to go in this particular run. If you find this video useful, guys, and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to stay up to date with all of those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about here at Cheeky Crypto, then do consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free and you'll stay well informed, so why not? And of course, if you hit that bell, you'll be sent all those juicy notifications. You'll never miss a single thing. Right, Chris, before we get down into the charts, anything else you would like to add?
Just let us know what you think the Anchor price is going to be come the peak of the bull run. Really interested to know.
Fantastic. Let's just jump straight down to the desktop and see exactly what's going on here.
Let's do it.
Right, so before we get into the charts, I think it's quite important that we just kind of cover what Anchor is for anyone who's relatively new. There's some timestamps down below. If you would like to get straight into the charts, use those. But for all those newcomers who are thinking, what is Anchor? Well, Anchor Network was created to provide a new blockchain solution that leverages the idle computing power from edge devices and data centers. Its distributed computing platform enables the sharing economy where consumers will be able to access cloud resources far more affordably and enterprises will be able to monetize their spare computing power. The network is unique in that it is the first of its kind to use trusted hardware to ensure security at enterprise levels. It is also implementing plasma side chains so that off-chain computing can be used to enhance the throughput and power of the network. The goal of Anchor is basically quite simple. It's to truly unlock the potential of distributed cloud computing by embedding computing power within the blockchain. This is achieved through the proof of useful work consensus mechanism, where those who are securing the network are promoting block propagation are able to unlock significant computing resources. So Anchor is one of the novel approaches in the distributed cloud computing blockchain spaces. And with the launch of its mainnet, I think this is back in 2019, the team feels that they are well positioned to take on any competition. And in most recent days, Chris, Anchor has been the #1 validator for the Binance Smart Chain. In terms of market capitalization, it's doing pretty well, and Anchor does, lag significantly behind some of the, competitors. But that hardware that I spoke about earlier is their USP. It's true that the distributed cloud computing space is getting crowded, and there is still room, for something like Anchor. The ever-growing size and available data and information calls for a secure data processing storage platform, and Anchor does look to fill that role quite nicely. Right, with all that being said, if you wanted to know any more about Anchor, we did a whole video dedicated on it. Do check that one out. Right, let's get straight into the charts, Chris. Here we have Anchor to the USDT. This is the daily chart, and we are using Binance as our data source. Here we do have a Fibonacci retracement, and this runs from our low level of the 21st of March through to that high point up here, which was on the 28th of March. That was a 7-day run that saw 221% in gains. Since then, we've traded sideways for approximately 7 days, and in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, we've actually seen some pretty interesting growth with the Anchor coin here. We can see that we were below the 618 area. That was below 15.9 2 days ago. And we're actually now firmly into that 702 above 17.1 cent. So things are definitely starting to heat up here with Anchor. We also see that the volumes have decreased quite dramatically from that high point that it had earlier on the 28th of March and are actually incredibly low. Even though we're having a bit of a rally right now, the volumes are not there to support such a thing. We also have our relative strength index down here. This is the daily relative strength index and is currently at 64 on the chart. We have a blue line that runs across this RSI and that comes in at 55.1. This is a key area because we saw lots of activity around here in the previous run. We were bouncing from this area and we had that good run which saw us with that 221% gain, whilst we're bouncing off this line. We most recently, over here on the 7th of April, on the 11th of April, and again getting close to it on the 14th of April. We've been hovering around this area for a little bit of time now, and we've started to see some price rally. So things are starting to definitely heat up when you start looking at it from the daily level. Let's go ahead and pull this into our 4-hour and see exactly what's going on there. Here we can see how those moving averages are working for us as well. We have a good area of support on that 50 moving average over here as well. So we're going to be watching that situation quite closely. We have had a 50-100 moving average cross over here, which happened on the 10th of April. And it looks like we're about to get that cross once again. So we're going to be watching that situation quite closely. The 200 moving average, though, is quite far away from the candles on this 4-hourly chart. The volumes, again, are decreasing over time, although we have had a little bit of a spike here in the most recently, in a kind of last 5 candles or so. So things look like they're starting to heat up here on this 4-hourly chart. We have loads of room to the upside still, so if this rally does continue with a significant increase in that volume, we should start to see this price rally quite nicely, which is exactly what we need to see. So let's go ahead and pull this down onto our hourly chart. And from here, we can see that we were almost overbought when we were over here at this end. We had the pullback, which brought us below our blue line here on this hourly chart. And we started to rally with some decent volumes here. And yeah, things are definitely starting to heat up as we head towards that 786 area. Some resistance seems to be forming up here, so we have to watch that quite closely to see if we have enough momentum to get past that resistance. Now, if I zoom on out, we can see that we are currently above the 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. So in theory, the anchor coin here is over the average price. So we're going to have to watch that as we approach that overbought area. That being said, I think this isn't exactly a big deal, and we are going to, potentially start seeing a bigger move here towards that 786. So things definitely are looking to start to heat up here with ANKR. So on this hourly chart, we're hoping to flip and turn our 702 area into a bit of support rather than resistance, which it was prior. And we'll have to just see if that plays out. If it does, then we should get a little bit of a correction on our relative strength index before trying to take out that 786 area. Let's pull this back into our daily for a bit of an overview. Okay, so from here, we know that we are fighting quite strong resistance up here within that 702 area. What we'd like to do in an ideal world is actually turn the 702 or the 17.1 cent area into an area of support so that we can then correct our relative strength index on that lower time stamped level. From that hourly, we just need to get it a little bit further corrected on that relative strength index, and then from there we should be in a pretty good position to try to take out that 18.4 cent area. So things are definitely starting to heat up, Chris, when it comes to ANKR. It's doing quite well at the moment. Had a very good day yesterday, and today seems to be an odd day. It's quite volatile, and it's mainly because the volumes are just not as strong as they need to be. I think that we'll probably end up with a close within the 702 by the end of the day. That will be a very positive thing, and that should hopefully allow us to gear us up towards, taking that next step into the 786 in the following days. And obviously, once we're past that 786, it's all-time high territory, and then we'll be moving on out and setting some new records. Now, in terms of where our price targets sit, we have the next target, Chris, that coming in at 30.8 cent. This is a 78.4% move from the current position. It will be gradual, in my opinion. We would not be, a 2-day or 3-day rally. This is something that might take a little bit longer than that. But it's something that I can start to see is being, available to us. We have had that correction, that healthy correction within that 17-day period, and I think we are starting to see the end of that, and we're starting to move on up out of these lower banded areas on that Fibonacci retracement. So that first price target of 30.8 is the thing that we are looking for next. After we get to that 30.8, we will be looking for 45.7, followed by 60.6, and then 69.8. I still believe, Chris, though, that we are going to see significant growth with ANKR. And I have got our $1 price target kind of scoped out here. This comes in at a 478% move from the current position. And yeah, I still think a dollar, Chris, is on the lower end of town. I think that it's going to be significantly higher than that. I mean, there's very few projects that are doing as well as ANKR, considering their real world use case and everything that they're trying to achieve. Being the number one validator for the Binance Smart Chain is no small feat in itself. And ultimately, if you wanted to spin up a node, for many of the projects that are integrated with ANKR, it's a one-click solution. So I do think that ANKR is very well positioned from a use case and utility point of view, as well as a low market cap position that it currently has. But Chris, is there anything else that you would like to add before we sign this video off today?
Yeah, just, I expect ANKR to do really, really well. I think, you always go through these periods after, a bit of a rise in price like what we've seen. And yeah, I think today's just a bit of an odd day, mainly because Bitcoin's pulled back a little bit. And, if you look at the rest of the market, I think it's mainly down to that.
Absolutely. So guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, then do go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you'd like to stay up to date with all of those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about here at Cheeky Crypto, then do consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free and you'll stay well informed, so why not? Right, and with all that being said, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.